This was the summer of 2011, and I was 20 years old. And I was working the graveyard shift at a gas station out on Route 50, a couple of miles past a town called Dell, where there was nothing in either direction but corn and dark and the occasional pair of headlights. 11 at night to 7 in the morning. After midnight, the place was usually dead. A trucker now and then. Somebody lost. Somebody who couldn't sleep. For hours at a stretch, it was just me, and the hum of the coolers, and the big bright windows throwing my reflection back at me against all that black outside. The store had a rule for the overnight. After 1 a.m., you locked the door and you served customers through a little sliding drawer in the window, the kind they have at banks. The day manager, a guy named Rick, told me on my first night that the rule wasn't a suggestion. He said a girl had worked that shift before me, and there'd been some trouble, and he didn't get into it, and I didn't ask. I locked the door every night at 1. For a few weeks, nothing happened, and I started to think the rule was overkill. Then came the night with the man. It was a little after 3. I hadn't seen a car in over an hour, and I looked up from the counter, and there was a man standing at the window, right up close to the glass, looking in. No car at the pumps. No car anywhere in the lot. I hadn't heard anyone pull up, and out there in that silence you heard everything. He was just there, like he'd walked up out of the fields. He was maybe 40, ordinary looking, in a dark jacket, and he stood there looking in at me for a beat too long before he came to the drawer and asked, very politely, for a pack of cigarettes. I got them. I slid them through. He paid. And then he didn't leave. He stood at the window and he started asking me things. Was I working alone tonight? Was the store open all night? What time did my shift end? He asked it all in a calm, friendly voice, smiling, and every question put another cold inch of dread into my stomach. Because they were not the questions a normal person asks a clerk at 3 in the morning. I gave vague answers. I said my manager was in the back. He looked past me at the obviously empty store, and he smiled a little wider, like we both knew that wasn't true. And then he said, "All right, you have a good night." And he walked off, not toward the road, but around the side of the building into the dark, where there was nothing but the propane cage and the field. I waited for the sound of a car starting. It never came. For the next hour, I couldn't see him, but I knew he was out there. You know how you can feel it. I kept catching movement at the edges of the lot, just past where the lights reached, and twice I saw him standing at the far edge of the pavement, in the dark, facing the store, facing me, not coming closer, just watching. The store phone rang once, and when I answered it, there was no one there, just an open line, and faintly, the sound of wind, the same wind I could hear outside my own door. Then he came back to the window, and this time, he didn't ask for anything. He just stood at the glass, close, and looked at me, and then he reached out and tried the drawer, rattled it, and then he tried the door, the locked door, the handle going up and down, patient. While he watched my face through the glass the whole time, I backed away from the counter. I had a cell phone, and I called 911, and the dispatcher told me a county car was 20 minutes out, 20 minutes on those roads. And I went into the back room, and I locked that door too, and I crouched down behind the shelving, and I listened to him work his way around the building, trying the back door, the side door, testing every way in no hurry at all. What saved me was a trucker. A big rig pulled in around 4 for fuel and coffee, air brakes hissing, lights flooding the lot. And just like that, the man was gone. The trucker, a heavy-set older guy, took one look at my face when I came out and asked what was wrong. And he stayed. He sat in the store and drank coffee and talked to me until the county car finally came, and then until the sky went gray. And I have thought about that man's kindness many times since. When Rick came in that morning, We pulled the security footage, and that's the part I still can't shake. The man hadn't walked up out of the fields when I first saw him at 3. The camera that covered the lot had him on it much earlier, at 1:30, just after I'd locked the door. Standing at the very edge of the light, at the tree line by the road, where my own car was parked. Standing there, motionless, facing the store, for almost 2 hours before he ever came to the window. Watching me lock up, watching me think I was alone. I asked Rick, then, about the girl who'd worked the shift before me, the one he wouldn't talk about. He got quiet, and he said she'd left without notice one night, partway through a shift, register open, door unlocked, and that no one had heard from her since, and that it had been written up as her just walking off the job. He'd never quite believed that, he said, but there was nothing to go on. I quit Route 50 the next week, and for a long time after, whenever I had to be somewhere alone at night, behind a window with the lights on, and the dark pressing up against the glass, I'd think about that man standing at the tree line by my car, how long he'd been willing to wait, and how, if that trucker hadn't pulled in when he did, no one would have known a thing was wrong until somebody opened the store in the morning and found the register open and the